Welcome everyone to the nightly Q&A for the 2021 Blood in the Snow Film Festival presented by the Super Channel. I'm Rob Bellamy, the host of Bits Radio, and I'm here tonight with Kelly Michael Stewart, the festival director of Blood in the Snow. You can hear this.
You said the Super Channel.
It is just Super Channel, isn't it? Oh man, I have been hot.
Like the Super Channel.
Presented by Super Channel. You're good. Okay. Okay.
Oh, now the hair's gone.
All right. Let's do it again.
Can't tell we're in film. Welcome everyone to the nightly Q&A for the 2021 Blood in the Snow Film present. I had it right the first time. Okay. Welcome everyone to the nightly Q&A for the 2021 Blood in the Snow Film Festival presented by Super Channel. I'm Rob Bellamy, host of Bits Radio, and I'm here tonight with festival director Kelly Michael Stewart. You can hear this show and many others at www.bitsradio.com. But for this festival, we are Bits TV, and tonight I would like to introduce the people from the film Funhouse. If I could have you introduce yourselves, please.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jason William Lee. I'm the writer, director, editor of Funhouse, and really happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
I'm Daley Nelson. I played Nevin Evansmith. It was Eversmith.
Eversmith.
Happy to be here as well.
And I'm Amanda Howells, and I played Kat Sim. Thanks for having me, guys.
Excellent. Thanks so much. The film was amazing, but I'm going to come out of the gate with the question I was thinking through the entire thing. There is only one animal on the planet that has not been weaponized by horror movies, and it's pandas. What made you choose pandas as that icon? Exactly
that. Yeah, no, it's 100% what it was. We wanted to get the most benign mascot we could think of possible, and we kind of just decided, like, very quickly, why don't we have a panda as the avatar? So, yeah, it was pretty quick.
I feel like we should have the avatar on here as one of the interview subjects.
I know, right?
Right. And it turns into a nice logo too.
Well, yeah, well. There we go.
There we go.
That was like the villain's logo,
but it's
that's
so
why
simple.
Sloth. It's a better logo than a sloth.
Exactly. It's like nobody do a sloth.
How quick into the project did you figure out the panda was going to be the thing, and that it would be like the screen that everyone would see?
It was pretty quick because we didn't want, obviously, to give away our villain. So we knew that originally we were going to have him either blurred out, or actually it was really, the decision to do like a motion capture was really kind of a tough decision because it, adds a whole element of visual effects, you know what I mean? So, it was great learning experience, but it was pretty early on that we decided to go with the panda for the avatar and just come out of the woodwork.
Jay, you did all the motion capture too.
I did the motion capture for that. So yeah, wow. Yeah, I was the guy in the suit. I could send you pictures. I looked like they were going to fire me out of a cannon or something.
So you're like literally the poster child for independent film because you wore like a billion hats.
So, yeah, I visual effects. I did like the news backgrounds. I'm not even a visual effects guy, but it's like we gotta save money.
That's actually very common. We've had so many filmmakers play the festival where you do have to wear so many hats to get the job done. Because it's like, and that's why I think actually it's so remarkable. Even if it's not your main forte, I find it really interesting, like how diverse the different filmmakers we have play it. Just that they do that. It's just like. I didn't know that going into this. Now I think you might be the first director we've had that has motion capture.
I even wrote the song at the very end.
Really?
I didn't write the music. I have no musical talent, but I wrote the lyrics. So, and the beat and all that.
I think we need an official opinion on that.
Look
who else had
true? I don't even know if I'm fucking true, bro.
You're here.
My shirt too.
Am I here or what? Am I
You're
here?
here.
Represent the fucking crew, lads. How are you?
Good man. We're on live TV, so be careful.
Really, man. Yes, it is. How are we doing, Jay?
I'm
sorry, I was working, and you know how it is, man. I ran up the stairs just to try and get to this interview, so How's things
What's the
going?
crack?
What I
Excellent.
missed? What I missed? What's the crack? What's
Just
the story?
Just started.
We just got
Oh,
going.
lovely.
This is good. Now that he's here, I can ask because your casting had to be spot on because you're portraying celebrities. So there's a certain cockiness that comes to being a celebrity because you're constantly in that limelight. How did you go about casting for this? Because these guys are incredible.
Have you met them though? They're pretty cocky. Each and every
No
one of them.
acting.
No, it's I knew Daly from several films that we did together before, and Chris auditioned and he blew us away. And Mandy, I met. This is a great story. We were out in where were we? Out in Squamish, almost up in the mine museum. We were working on a movie. I just decided my friends needed an extra zombie in their film. I'm like, I'll be a zombie. So I went up there, and me and Amanda were both zombies. So I'm like, we started talking. I gave her a ride home because we got stuck out there, and we just hit it off. And I'm like, you want to be in this movie? And she's like, hell yeah.
You didn't even know I was reading for it, though. I surprised you on the day when I auditioned. You're like, oh, Daly. I'm like, oh, okay.
I know. I had no clue. He walked in the door.
So
And
we were
Chris, we just had him
this
take
thing
off.
for
We just had Chris take off his shirt in the audition, and he was.
Nah,
you're in.
nah. If you guys want to know the audition process for that, that was a fucking, that was hilarious.
It's the only time I've
The-
seen him
the
in a
script
shirt. So
originally said,
True.
the script originally said Polish experiment, and I'm like, fuck, I can't butcher a Polish accent here, so I'm just gonna go in standard American here. And I did it in American, and I just remember when I was leaving, I was just like, all right, see you guys, you break the character, whatever. And then Jay was just like, hold on, where the fuck are you from? I was like, I'm from Ireland, man. He's like, why didn't you do it in your Irish accent? And I was like, the fucking thing said Polish. And I was like, I wasn't gonna butcher that, So
Yeah.
that's the story with that.
No, it's totally awesome. And that's the thing
I
about
thought it was gonna
everybody.
have a few more laughs than that and whatever.
So I got to ask then. Okay, we'll start with you, Chris. When you saw the character that you got, how did you decide to get into that role? Because it's mixed martial arts guy,
Honestly, it was pretty easy for me because my father had me in boxing gloves since I was 4. So that life was pretty, Jay wanted me to
Just
be
growing
that
up in
Irish
Dundalk.
drunkard fighter, whatever. And it was like, all right, well, that's just like just be whoever from town. I'm going to be freaking, certain lads that I grew up with that were a bit like on edge that I was like, okay, I can dive into this route. But the hard thing for me was, as an actor, was to play the character, James Stone, Headstone Malone, but then also he himself is playing a character for a show against a live stream. So that was a bit of a challenge himself. Do you know what I mean? You're acting to play this character who he himself is now. Of course, for everybody, that includes Daly, that includes Mandy. All the cast had to, figure that one out. If that makes sense, you're going on a reality show, putting on a show to get the likes and get the follows and stuff. So that was a bit of
Wait.
a,
are we learning reality TV isn't real?
What?
It's true.
You're telling me there's
There you go.
some guys behind it?
We're going to blow up the internet with that information. So, Mandy, what did you find in your character that you could get a hold of and really run with?
Well, I find it really interesting, because I was the last actor to come on. I think, as I remember, Jay had told me they'd auditioned a lot of women for this part, and he was like, "We haven't really found the right person." And then when I read the script, I was like, "Oh my God, this is just a psychotic version of me." And so it was actually, for the most part, it felt really natural for me. Obviously, other than the evil part, right? But just the amount of things that my character would do or could do, and I think the hardest part is I like to talk a lot, right? And the character had almost no lines, so I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how am I going to portray interest and I'm a part of this conversation, but I'm not saying it. You know what I mean? It's how do I keep my face from not being like this the whole time, right? So it was more of a figuring out my body language and what I was emotionally portraying through my eyes and how I was holding myself and things like that. I think that was the biggest challenge.
Okay, Daly. Like Nevin, how did you find Nevin?
I was kind of spoiled. I read for a different character, and it was the Dex character kind of early in the script, and I came in and just the way he was speaking, and I didn't want to, I didn't want to come across it culturally in a negative way, so I made him. I just went English, and I went streets. So I came in like this, and I laid down some bars and stuff, and then Jay's like, we actually want to go different direction with that character, but now this one's yours. And we worked together before, so he just pumped quarters into me like a jukebox, and we trust each other, and he just kind of steered me through it. And then working with the rest of the cast, it was really easy to organically kind of bring scenes to life, despite the tweaks from, like Chris said, his character becoming Irish, mine becoming English, and it had this great synergy as a collective between the director and the cast that made it kind of carried me as an Evan, so they get all the good credit, and I'll take the bad credit for the scenes that don't land.
Well, then I have to ask too, because we have Headstone and Nevin here. Both died extremely opposite. One is like battling for his life, and the other one is an oversized pinata. How did you wrap yourself around the fact that this would be what happens?
It makes sense though. My character's a lot of hot air. He's a lot of talking. So at the end of the day, he just kind of lays down, like he's the first one to leave the room, and then just gets wailed on with the bat, which is fun because I think that was an 8-hour day in the air for me. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like it hurt a little bit.
Oh wow! So now,
Can I say hi?
Jason, hi.
Told you, I'm working. Yeah, I got some photo
Jason.
bombs here. People are like, oh, I want to see what's going on.
I wanted to find out, Jason, because you said that you were a scriptwriter too, like you got into the story. Where did the kernel of this come from? Because it's it's a little messed up, which is beautiful.
yeah,
Well, that's there was the executive producer, Henrik Sattenson, who unfortunately couldn't be on here because it's 3 a.m. in Stockholm. But he saw my first film, The Evil in Us, in Sidges in 2016, and he liked it. And he approached me basically got my email off from IMDb and emailed me and said, I'm a producer from Sweden and I would really love to make a movie with you. And I'm like, sure you would.
it sounds like a catfish.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I've heard this before. What do you want me to do? No, I'm just like, one thing led to another, and he ended up being totally legit. Flew me and my producing partner, Michael, down to Miami. So I'm like, that's the first good news. I'm like, who's paying for this? He's like, I'll take care of it.
That's a baller move, brother. That's a baller move right there. Bro.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, it was great. And then we met there, and he's like, I have this idea we didn't have a name then. I came up with that later, but for a reality style show. It's not a reality show, but based on a reality show about celebrities who get invited to a mansion and horrible things happen to them. And I was a little bit hesitant. I'm not going to lie. Like, my first movie was quite violent as well, and I don't steer away from violence in film. I hate violence in real life, but violence in film is a different story, and I love horror movies. So, and I always, if somebody's going to give you an opportunity to do a second feature, you're not going to say no. So I jumped on board, even though I was hesitant about the subject matter, and ended up, I wrote it, and we went to town and met all these awesome people. It was a wonderful experience. Yeah.
That is excellent. Now, was this, and I when I was watching it, I got thinking, was it COVID driven? Because it all happens in one house, which, seems to be a thing.
We shot this in 2018.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, in fact, actually, I should mention, if you don't mind me saying, Jason.
COVID screwed it up.
Yeah, we had actually, the last time we spoke, I was actually walking through a dog park a year ago, and we couldn't get the stars to align to play the film last year. And I remember saying to you, if the film is still available, let's talk again in a year. And here we are talking right now. Actually, this is the next.
Yeah, Canada is one of our last. We haven't set on a distributor yet in Canada, so this is good that we were able to get it in here.
Yeah.
So you were COVID.
Age.
You were COVID before COVID was cool.
We were. Yeah, we knew it was coming. We saw it coming.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel working in that kind of environment? Because obviously you're all in one little house.
Oh
was
man,
tough.
I loved
We
it.
ruined
I
the
thought
movie
it was crazy.
magic.
These guys
It's
became
what
like
was it?
like a tribe of buddies. It was awesome. We
Oh
all did.
yeah, we buddied up real good. It was great. Like
Yeah, everybody got along well. The camaraderie was fantastic on set. I mean, Daly and I here, like, I mean, we just had a laugh. Like, even though he is playing that annoying English fella, that everybody just, you know, that one lad that everyone's like, oh my god, just shoot him, you know what I mean? So that's basically like, but we knew that the banter was going to be there.
Sitting right-
Chav, yeah.
the banter wasn't
But on
crazy.
set, like it was fantastic. I mean, we were taking the piss out of one another regardless, you know.
It's
whether
got
we were
the
shooting
summer
or
camp
off set or
feel.
whatever.
Like
So,
as soon as you wrap, you're like, say it'll be like this forever, and we'll keep in touch. But then you have to go back to having a life and not being trapped.
Well, we
in
had
the same
Walter.
spot with
We had
everyone.
Walter. We also had Walter Skarsgård over there, and he had his own room, but it turned into everybody's room. Moved into Walter's room. It was kind of funny.
Well, yeah, we're a family.
I know, it's great.
He put the Walter's room only sign on my body, and then I became his property. I think.
Yeah, and then he just like got on top on your back and stood there.
That's a credit, though. That's transpo.
Yeah.
How long was the shoot?
A month.
I think, yeah, about a month. We did 25 days, I
28
believe.
days or something like that. 27, something
A
like that.
few
Yeah.
pickups and short days, but yeah, it was.
Apparently, at the end, it got a bit of a blur because everyone's got a different number.
I think it was about 25 days. I can't remember the exact. Maybe 28. I can't remember the exact.
It was close to exactly.
Oh,
a
I
month
had
because
like, I think I had like
from
17 or something like that.
from day one all the
Whatever, but I
way.
thought it was like 25.
So,
Yeah, it blurs
Well-
into one.
mhm.
It's also different
month.
days for everyone because, I mean, as you saw, I died like a pope pretty quickly, so I didn't have to be on set as much.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true too. That's the one cool thing for actors in a horror movie. If you're one of the first kills, you know you only have a few days.
Yeah.
But I
So
mean,
it was a shoot where you wish you had more.
Yeah.
doing stuff. We were like, doing promo things or going out for events and stuff. So we were all like literally packed together, like for 4 weeks, some of us, right? And it was very interesting. We really did become like a little family. We saw each other every day for like 14 hours and looking out the window going,
Mandy, you were there from the very end, man. You were there till the very end.
Well, yeah, Mandy, that's the thing. I asked Jason about, terrorizing pandas now. What's it like to take the final girl of a horror film and flip her around too?
I actually really liked it. I would love it if there was a second one, so I get to I get to be more of her. Because it was sort of fun to be the mysterious girl, the mysterious character in the film and stuff, and keep those things in. But I also wanted to like let loose. Like I was the only character that didn't get to kill anybody or like have a fight in the movie, and I was like.
Well,
No.
funny story though. Like the original ending of the first draft of the script, Mandy's character takes the $5 million, tracks down Nero, and burns him alive with it.
I was down for that.
You did film shooting him as well as a.
That's right. We had
No,
an
but
alternative
The original
where-
script, we did shoot him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember I pulled that trigger, and then you were like, cut, and you said, can you do that again, but just don't hold the trigger so long? I was like, okay. Just wanted to.
So then I have to ask, because that end sounds so cool. What made the change to the end that you have now?
Truthfully, I think our producer Henrik really wanted to flip it around, wanted to have like not such a obvious ending, and I think it works in some ways. Some people are just so upset that the bad guys win, but some people love it, so it's hard to say. And it also does
Too much
set
like
up for
real life.
Part two. Yeah,
Mhm.
like real life.
That's very true.
I
I
think
know-
horror audience are a bit more in tune with the nihilistic kind of ending anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
even ones that end well, they've got that like the last shot stinger or the post credit where it's like, oh wait, it's not over. So I think it's kind of a genre standard as well.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're right. It does take away that predictability, because when I was watching it and she gets there, she finds him, I'm thinking, that's it. He's toast. Wait, no, he's not. So it's for those people that like to anticipate a twist, but they're still not ready when it happens.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I love that ending.
Cool.
So you have one cast member that is actually an alumni of our festival, Gigi.
Gigi, yeah.
Yeah, she's like that. So what she's talk about someone of different talents. People, she's both known as a director and as an actor in your film, kind of. So what was it like to work with her?
Oh, it's awesome. She's extremely talented in every facet: acting, directing, writing. Right now, I think she's in Austin, premiering her film Bingo Hell. So good for her, and she's hooked up with Bloomhouse. I think the sky's the limit for her. She's got the triple threat for sure. She's great to work with. Yeah, and she went all out too for that axe fight scene. Just like actually Chris here, I wanted to mention, like, when you talked about his fighting background, he did all those stunts and he did them hard on a concrete floor. It was pretty impressive. Like, that saved us so much time because we shot all that one day. We should have been shooting that at least 2 to 3 days. We shot that all in one day. So
I still gotta send you the bill for all the scars on my back, brother.
Exactly, right? Well,
that was while maintaining a caloric deficit too.
Yeah, so everybody were troopers, like Daly up in the harness all day long, and Gigi doing the axe fight, and Carolina, you should have seen her knees and elbows after that axe fight. It was black and blue, but he's like, wow, everybody went to the limit. It was great.
Yeah, but I have to ask then, what's it like working with Gigi's parents?
Oh, and they were wonderful. That was actually one of the funniest moments, I think, because I didn't have a clue what they were saying. Unfortunately, I don't speak Spanish, so I loved their interaction. It was one of the cutest things I've ever seen because you could tell how in love they were. So it was so funny because they would just have this banter back and forth. I had no clue what they said, but body language says it all, and how much they loved each other. It was great.
That's a lot of trust to put in an actor if you don't know what they're saying.
Yeah. I still don't. I said I was going to send all the raw footage to Gigi because I think it's worth it because it's hilarious. Yeah.
So you were mentioning
we had to have that cameo of the family in there.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Oh, it was in the contract. You have to get Fabian in there as well if you're going to give you.
Yeah, Romina and Fabian. Yeah.
One other thing I have to ask then, you were directing, you were doing, computer effects. There was a lot of people with panda heads in that movie. Were you ever on camera?
Another funny story. I cut myself out of an entire side story. I was one of the FBI agents that was supposed to track. Originally, like I said, the first cut of the script was 2.5 hours. Our first cut of the movie was 2.5 hours long. We're like, our distributor's like, no, this is not happening. They wanted an hour and a half. I'm like, we can't cut out an hour. But then they're like,
you let us run our mouths unscripted a lot too, so it became a 4-hour movie.
Exactly. But we had an entire side story that took about 20 minutes out of the movie. That was a FBI. That's why when people online are like, well, how did the FBI ever track them down or didn't track them down? We had this whole intricate side story about how this guy was like a super hacker and he had it all on Tor networks and onion routing, and it was like impossible to track down. And I consulted some real hackers about this and how we could actually make this believable. And unfortunately, there is a way in the world where you can do that on the dark web. Right? So it's like, it's not that unplausible that could happen. But long story short, I cut my entire scene. But I am in there like 2 cameo appearances in the background.
Your Big Trouble in Little China character, Jack Burton, in there.
That's right. I call myself Jack Burton.
So I have to ask then, will there ever be a director's cut?
Not unless they pay us a bunch of money to do the editing, because a ton of that had no visual effects in it, right?
Oh.
They never got finished. Because we only went through half. We didn't actually finish the film like that. They're like, early on we had to cut it, and there's a ton of those shots that have like green screens everywhere. So unfortunately, I would like to do the cut where Jerome gets killed.
Rob, if you're using your clout to start the Snyderverse fun cut, then you can push that.
I'm saying it worked for him, right?
Yeah, maybe Snyder can help.
Funhouse.
Just give us a little bit of his money.
Well, at least you're good at the cut before you spent all the money on the visual or time on the visual effects. At least you got the edit down and then did that. I mean, so many make the mistake of doing all that work and then get it cut out, right? So.
No, exactly, and I don't know how they have big budgets, but yeah, we've been in travesty if that happened for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess a final question, and sadly, I apologize, Chris and Daly, it won't be about you. If there's a 2, what are some thoughts? Because literally these guys can't join.
Oh,
Or can
yeah.
we?
Or can they? You know, they did it in the Matrix. They've done it right recently.
Point taken.
In the future, Nina grows up in the future, finds out where he lives. Boom.
That's right.
Does it back to Nero and the girl. That'd be sick.
Chris,
That'd be deadly.
actually, funny enough, I do have like a full-on story of number 2. It was going to be called Funhouse Copycat, and it was about, they never find out who did it, of course, and then the next one rendition would be Nero and Kat's plan would be to have billionaires that they invite onto a reality show that are willing to come and do their thing, and Nero becomes a billionaire, so he becomes a plant into the show. So then they have the other game where they're like playing with billionaires' lives, because everybody wants to see a billionaire go down.
So it's like Shawnee Smith in Saw 2.
Yeah.
I never saw that one.
I would be down
That's
for
the
that.
problem. That's the problem. I got
Now
a
you
lot
watch
of
it before you write this.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. It's like you get a lot of that on the internet. It's like, this is just like this. I'm like, I never even saw that movie. So,
But see, that's just it. Almost every single idea has been done. It's
Yeah.
how you twist your idea.
exactly.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being on the show. I can't tell you how much fun it was to watch. And if there is a 2, I will definitely be waiting.
Well, thank you very much for having us, guys. Appreciate it.
And I just want to
Thanks
say
very
too
much.
that it's
People let me crash last minute.
yeah, no problem. I just want to say actually this is going to air on Halloween night, so happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
Happy
Happy
Halloween.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Halloween, guys.
This is the last night
See
of the
those
festival.
panda costumes.
There you go. There you go. This is the last night of the festival on Super Channel. I just want to tell the whole audience that if you're in the Toronto area, we will be going to the live version of the festival back again after 2 years, November 18th to the 23rd at the Royal Cinema. So you can just go to bloodinthesnow.ca to find out about ticket information. So if you're anywhere in the Southern Ontario area, I hope you can join us for that too. But this film will be repeated one more time on Super Channel later tonight. And there'll be other great bits, alumni titles playing through all the month of November as well. So thanks for joining us.
Amazing, thank you.
Hey, you guys. All the best. God bless, guys.
Thanks a lot, everyone.